Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Dexter Original Sin review. I'm one of your hosts, the should have pawned it, Kirkland Patzer.
I'm the whose boat was it, Taylor Field?
Whose boat was it, Taylor Field? Yes, just the two of us, as always, with these Dexter Original Sin reviews. We're on episode 8, getting close to the end here. But yeah, before we jump into it, just a couple things to shout out. We got a lot of juice flowing. We're getting close to a certain February 1st, whatever that means. Certain people in the chat has been spamming that for about a month now. I'm curious what's going to happen February 1st. But beyond that, we had geez, what are we even getting going here? Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. First two episodes dropped. That was Taylor and I. Taylor and I have been doing a lot of reviews the last couple months here
We
together.
have. We have.
What other shows are going on? We finished a bunch. We got a Wolfman review in the feeds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get December out of my mind. It was such a dense month. I feel like all of those contents that we had in there, it's still in the nook and crannies of my brain, so it's hard to shake that out. But
Yeah, I mean, there's right now currently like there's not a lot. Like you nailed it. We got Spider-Man, and I mean, I look to what's upcoming, like Captain America
that's
review.
right.
That's on the horizon.
First big Marvel movie of the year. Yeah, that's exciting. But
Mm-hmm.
After Nine, we just had an After Nine. That was lots of fun. We had, speaking of After Nine, go check out our Patreon. Best place to support us. You get everything ad free. You get early exclusive content. Yeah, shouts out to the Discord as well. That's always popping off. Check out the link below. And special shout out to our Patreon producers. We got Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Muds, Sam, Superbad Mike, The Good God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, Charlie Randall. Thank you so much for supporting us each and every show. Let's just jump into it here. Dexter Original Sin episode 8. Business and Pleasure was the title of this episode. Yeah, we're getting close to the end here. This is the third final episode of potential one season show. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Taylor, what do you think about it?
Coming off last week's episode, this was definitely hot and heavy, and I'm so happy that we're still not at the penultimate or the finale. Really, like we're as you said, we're in the third one down. And it's so good. I like this episode because I feel like we got a lot of little kind of Easter egg things and little mentions here and there. And then I think what's going to be really controversial is the curveball that they introduce at the end here, because I think it's you're gonna have namely one person in particular, Travis, come along and be like, oh, continue lore, narrative, consistency, consecutive, like breaking canon. That's what I'm trying to
The
say.
continuity, yes.
That's the word. Thank
Of
you.
everything.
So I think it'll be very interesting to see how it's overall going to fit into the entire narrative at the end of this episode. But that being said,
Mm-hmm.
I think everything in here, point A to point B, I really liked, and we got a larger deep dive into what's going on with one specific actress in this show, which I'm glad because I feel like okay, we're following along, but we weren't getting a lot of like something bad is going to happen here. Like there's going to be something, and finally we get a little bit more insight at least in this episode, and it'll be interesting to see how that's going to pay off. You said like maybe this is a one season show. I when you look at Dexter X Resurrection that's going to be coming out, I feel like this would just be a perfect one and done show, but I don't think that's going to be the case, and I feel like they know it. They may have been told that they have to do one season for this, and that's what they started off with. But with how many narratives we have kind of overlapping right now, I do feel, even though we have 2 episodes left, that they're going to uh, those narratives are going to continue on and lead us into a second season. I really, really feel like that, or it's going to end kind of at least ambiguously at the end of the this finale, where we get to go and maybe have another season, or they could just can it there. But I think that they're keeping things very open ended by having so many different storylines going on at once, and it's not a bad thing. I think that they're tackling things like one by one, and I think right now we have probably at least two main. Yeah, no, oh no no no. Oh well, three. We have three main narratives right now, and I don't know how you would wrap up these three main stories in 2 episodes because they're all very, very separate from each other, and they don't. While the characters involved with them overlap, I don't feel like the actual victims, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
in these narratives overlap themselves with each other. It's the people that are engaging with it. But that's, again, we can talk about that when we get to the final episode because I'm just rambling. It was a great episode, so there you go.
I feel like we have more than 3 plot lines. We can get into that when we get into spoilers, but yeah, no, I feel like I am still really enjoying the show, but this episode more so than any others, I feel like I don't want to say worried because it sounds too extreme, but I feel like I'm starting to maybe have certain things bother me more than they would have been in the past. And it's not like it's a new thing. Well, there's a couple of new things that really bugged me in this episode particularly, but I feel like maybe just as the whole season has progressed, maybe certain behaviors by certain individuals, they just haven't bothered me as much, but they're just so repetitive now, or maybe I'm just expecting us to go in a different direction and it's not happening. That I don't know, maybe it might be bothering me a little bit. But yeah, because this episode I feel like was really, yeah, there you go. Look at this fucking guy right here. Oh, we got another February 1ster in the chat here, ladies and gentlemen. But killing my train of thought. But yeah, I feel like this episode more than any other one that I've seen so far this season has really made me torn on being in the middle, because I think there was stuff in here that really bugged me and I just couldn't believe that was what was happening. There was a couple times I just laughed at the screen, and it was not like a supposed to be a comedic thing. I just couldn't believe what was happening. But then there was also some moments in here where I'm like, fuck, this is good television. Like this is phenomenally made. I think there's some tremendous camera work in here. Some of the best transitions I've seen in all of Dexter, in all of the Dexter mythos. Just some great camera work in this episode. So I was really impressed by it visually. I feel like most of the areas that we went to, like I was enjoying it. I just also think now though, certain things that were hinted at earlier on in the season, we're starting to like really unfold those now. And I just feel like we have a lot of things going on as we're approaching the end of the season here, because certain things that maybe weren't a threat to our protagonists are starting to be that. And I feel like we're already like having so many forces to deal with like in the show. So of course, I'm talking in riddles here. I'm trying to avoid spoilers, but yeah, I'm a little bit torn on this one. The most torn I've been throughout the whole season, but still intrigued. I'm still excited for next season, or sorry, next week. And I think just on that topic of it potentially getting another season, I mean, at the end of the day, it's numbers, right? If it makes a lot of money, I'm sure they'll do it. I do like the cast for the vast majority. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar, she's really not in it that much, but every time she's on screen, I'm enjoying her. Like the character usage, I guess. Like they're doing. Well, maybe I just want more of that because I am really enjoying what they're doing with her. So, yeah, and just the other actors, I think for the most part, all of them have really good chemistry together. So, yeah, I would want another season. I like this enough. It's even though I'm starting to this one being my most divisive out of all of them. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Well said.
Recommend the show still to everyone. Cool. Well, let's get into our spoiler discussion. So yeah, we'll take our first ad break here, and then we'll be right back. All right, Taylor Field, we're right back. And Adam, I don't know. Where do you wanna start with just talking about all the plot points that are going on?
Yeah, like
because you said there was 3. I feel
there's
like there's
3
at
for
least
me.
4 going on, because
At least
there's. Let's unpack this right now. So we got the kidnapping of the Metro Police son,
the police
right?
chief, the captain, yeah. So
And
that's
like
one.
even though it's revealed that like the police chief is like a big part of that, I still can say just consider all of that like the one. You have Deb's boyfriend, which is number 2, and like that was
Yeah.
not resolved here. Like I feel like that's gonna be something that happens.
Mhm.
Obviously they're revealing more about his crime stuff. And then we have Brian now, right?
That's 3.
So
Yeah.
that's I imagine the serial killer. That's really what they're showcasing here. And then we also have
You gonna say the flashbacks?
yeah, yeah, the flashbacks. That was
Okay,
one I
yeah,
had
that's right.
with Laura Moser. Um, I mean, yeah, that's been a consistent throughout the whole show. And then I feel like we have another one as well. I felt really confident in the, the spoiler free section. I'm maybe blanking on one of them here, but anyways, even with 3 or 4, like that's still a lot to be going into the finale. Especially, it doesn't seem like they're all gonna be colliding in the same area. Like I don't know. Like are they gonna somehow say that like Geo Deb's dick ass boyfriend guy like is he working with with the police chief here? Like if they make some sort of tie like that, I just feel so eye rolly. It's like, oh my gosh, like why does this have to be so grandiose? Even I'm yeah, we'll get into the police chief guy because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that guy, but yeah, like do you think they're gonna try and collectively answer all this, or is Dexter just gonna go on a pop off spree here in the final 2 episodes?
He'll just get he'll get all of them and put them into one room and just
Yeah, it's probably more cost effective, right?
that's right.
Than having to get all of the stuff that many times. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's got his kill spot now, right?
He's got his
It's
kill
hammered.
spot.
I couldn't believe when that lady came in. It's like, just so you know, anytime you ask, you got my boat. No questions asked. I'm like, are they really gonna just keep dropping her in here until he uses the boat? So I'm glad he used the boat here, because I don't know, I found it a little bit cheesy. But anyways, back to what I was saying about what was I saying? Geo, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what's going on here. I feel like he's just a drug smuggler. I don't really think he's killing anyone or murderers. I don't think he's gonna fit on Dexter's code.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, we really learned a lot about him and him with Deb. That okay, he's engaged or I guess married, right? And he's
Engaged. That was the
engaged.
fiance.
He's doing jobs for his parents. Doesn't need a passport. He can just go in and out wherever he wants to go, which is super sus. But yeah, and he did not care about leaving Deb behind on this island and just totally screwing her over. So it's immaculate that Dexter happened to just be there. But there's
Yeah.
definitely more going on with this guy, and that story is far from over. I don't think they could wrap up
Yeah.
that story in an episode at this point.
Yeah, because it's definitely like an organized crime setup. Like he's definitely not the main head honcho of it. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that storyline is enough to have like the main season threat being that. Maybe just a little bit more gets revealed. Um,
Well, I could
yeah.
see like this acting as the incentive to get Deb onto the force. But
Mm,
apparently that happens later, right? Apparently she
mm.
becomes like a drug addict. I defer to what Travis said.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to Google this because I'm. Do we know what happened to Estrada? Like after all said was done, after he chopped off Laura Moser.
I
Like
can't remember because there
he
was the
didn't get
three of
caught,
them.
right?
One went and got arrested, and the other two, because Dexter got all. One of them died of old age. Dexter got one, and then Dexter had a shot at the other because the other was being moved out of prison. And I think
Mm,
that's where Miguel Prada helps him because
mm.
he's the DA. Funny enough, Miguel Prada mentioned in this episode, which was the guy looks like him, which was crazy.
I did not remember that guy at all. So your memory of the
You don't
original
remember
Dexter is
Miguel
a lot.
Prada?
I mean, now that you're talking about him, it's starting to come back. I can't picture his face though. So yeah, when she was smooching him, that had no effect on me. I had no idea who that was. It's
Here,
been
I
too long
gotcha.
since
I
I've seen it.
gotcha. You'll know
Cause
it as soon as you see it. Bail Organa.
I'm waiting. Oh, oh, fuck. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, yes. I like that actor. I. Oh, wow. Such a memorable face, and I forgot about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason why I was asking about that because I'm like, are they gonna do something with Geo that like he's working with Strahd or something? Like it all ties back to that, and that's who Dexter's gonna pop off at the end of the season. I just couldn't remember if that was handled or talked about in the original Dexter. So yeah.
Right,
Anyways,
right.
anyways, what's gonna happen with Geo? We don't know.
We have no idea.
Yeah, but definitely a horrible move. I mean, I feel like he just went. He was so consistently like a nice guy throughout the whole show, and then like within that 15-minute span, he just like straight up evil. It's like fuck you, bitch, get off my boat. Like he just. I feel like it was just such an abrupt, like wild, evil guy reveal. To have him like I don't know, be a part of a lot of the season to just have it like end that quickly. It just seemed weird to me. So yeah, I'm interested in what is gonna happen following him, and if it is gonna be tackled, I would be surprised if it's not. But maybe that's a good idea actually to just not even have him talked about for the rest of the season because we already have other things to worry about.
Yeah, there's a lot more important things going on, like especially Laura Moser and that whole dynamic, which that was
Oh
just
God,
like,
yeah.
well, before we get into that and them just like the chainsaw scene.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the
Yeah,
POV.
Jesus. So the idea that so you know that Laura needs to be kept safe. She's the informant, all that
Oh
kind of
my
stuff.
God.
She's at the park with her kids, and Dexter like runs up and is like, you could brush that off as just a kid being friendly or whatever. But what does he do? He's like, oh, one quick throw, and he just runs off with the kids, and they're like wrestling around. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh man, he does not give a fuck about Laura's life. To
Mm.
to yeah, just so nonchalantly. First of all, just a terrible idea to like meet like this, and they're just like talking, facing forward. I don't know. It just seemed like a horrible way to do a secret interaction. And multiple times they like turn and like look at each other and like talk to each other. And then yeah, of course Dexter comes out. And it was so funny because they make such a point of emphasis that like it's such a scary thing that's happening because if anyone's watching they're obviously going to know. They're like looking around. Okay, yeah, just a quick throw and then he just like all jovial goes and plays catch and then it's like whatever and then it's just a quick cut to like really intense music and just a guy with binoculars and I audibly laughed. I could not believe just how goofy that sequence was. And yeah, just pretty much such a lackluster care for Laura and the children's lives,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Morgan there. So yeah,
You guys are very
super
lackluster.
poorly conducted.
Yeah. Ugh.
And then yeah, it led to the the nail polish scene. They kick in the door, just terrifying sequence. And this is what we've been I don't want to say waiting for, just maybe cautiously waiting. I don't know. I don't know what type of term to call it, but yeah, they're in the crate, and it's more terrifying than I was picturing it to be. Honestly, I didn't really think of just multiple people being in there, and just the idea of them just like chainsawing people leading up to you getting chainsawed, like just the psychological damage that does, and yeah, the
Yeah.
poor children in there is
Dexter was
very
not
graphic.
closing his eyes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely not. The zoom in of his
And the
pupil.
mom too. I get them. Obviously, you're in a situation. You're not going to be thinking clearly. You're going to be freaking out. But the mom was just like this over Dexter's
Yeah.
face, like his fingers spread out so he could
Yeah.
just watch everything.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked. But they didn't do it quickly either. It's gonna be drawn out probably for the whole
Mm-hmm.
rest of these last two episodes. But
Mm.
yeah, very very scary. Anyways,
But
switching tunes.
with that, because yeah, setting up that kind of narrative, and so we can kind of segue to like Brian Moser, because I was not
Mose.
expecting that curveball at all when they were looking into this
Yeah.
murder, trying to get his feet, like the murderer is trying to find himself, get his feet wet. He's killing these people and he's trying to figure out what best works. And so this is him becoming a serial killer,
Mhm.
which is funny how it kind of parallels Dexter and Dexter's path as Dexter's becoming a serial killer as well.
Mhm.
And so them finding these documents and LaGuerta not being kind of privy to it, and the fact that Harry is just his name is all on this evidence reports and like it's just absolutely fucked.
And he
So
pocketed the file that LaGuerta
Mhm.
found. Like it's just like, oh my god, this guy is such a terrible detective. Or
Yeah.
I guess he's a good detective. He's a terrible bad guy and spy. So yeah, no, my initial reaction to the B Moser stuff was negative. Honestly, it just seems like
Really?
too much tying everything together for like the family storyline. maybe the more I stew on it, the more okay I'll be. I did like how you said it does parallel Dexter's journey, and I didn't really think of it that way, and in a positive sense, because it would make total sense that he would be going through his own evolution. Like clearly, he was still a human being, like before he was the ice truck killer. So, yeah, it would make sense that he's doing his own kind of original sin storyline. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little more open to it the more I think about it. But just my initial reaction was just it just seems like they're trying to tie too many things to have like one ultimate storyline, and just didn't seem too necessary. And also, by this point, like we were already juggling other things with like Captain Spencer and his
Mm.
son, and then all the flashback stuff. Like it just seemed like we already had a lot with Geo as well and Deb, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll wait to fully judge it. But yeah, my initial first impression not so hot.
Mhm. Mhm.
But yeah, and then fucking Harry, super sus. And this was a scene I just could not stop laughing at. They're like going through the files. It's like, yeah, I think I will have some of that shitty coffee. Doesn't say anything. She's like, okay, I guess I'll go get it for you. Like, such a dickish way to just like, Taylor, I'm thirsty. Go get me some fucking coffee. Like
Yeah.
that's essentially what it meant. Like it was just so weird. And then yeah, him just sweatily going through the file like I don't know why he didn't just grab it and put it in his bag or something and then look at it later. Like he's just like going through it all and then he's like sweating, like looks at the door and you just see like LaGuerta like pouring her coffee and like the two other detectives are like making comments. It seemed like such a goofy sequence and then he's just such a goofball. She found out anyways because he fucking left the file out when he went to go get a taco. Like, man, I don't know. I feel like Harry is just such a goofy guy in this show. At least for me, and just these like intense moments, they just feel so goofy. Anytime he's on screen here, and especially like the flashbacks where he talked about like when he was in the park and just like just looking around with his sideburns and his 70s Miami Vice looks. But anyways, I digress. I found it funny when he was going through the file and LaGuerta didn't address it. You know, she gave him the
No.
cold shoulder. I guess they got the phone call that was a little bit more intense because
Mhm.
Mr. Bob, that's his name, right? Bob got shot. Is that what they said?
Yes. Yeah. Right in the neck.
Right in the
Oof.
fucking neck. God, you think he's gonna live?
No, I think he's gonna die.
Yeah,
Um.
Captain Spence.
Yeah. So what would that be? That would be. I mean, it's not a direct kill, but it's indirectly Captain Spence getting him killed, which is
Oh, absolutely,
unfortunate.
it is. Right? He's the one
Just
that
trying to start his
orchestrated this whole
cartel
thing,
thing.
and it's even what Dexter said. Like, if I had followed him, like I could have prevented this whole thing. So, just adding a little bit more fuel to the Saran wrap room scene.
That's right. And I really do quite enjoy him having these conversations with his dad, like, oh, like captain's this, that, and the dad's just Harry's like, no, like we're not.
You fucking idiot! I feel like it's not even a conversation. He's just like dismissing everything Dexter
He
says.
is, yeah. Yeah. Which I mean, I get it. Like they've been friends for a long time and yada yada yada, but
It's true.
yeah, this is a whole new ball game just to see. It's pretty crazy.
It seemed pretty like to me. It just seems so like we've been here before already. Like Harry just immediately dismissing like suspicion that Dexter has. I think when he like double downs on like he's been with the Force for like 30 years, he's known him for all this time. Still, it's like okay, yeah, well, like you still listen to Dexter, but I think I gave it a pass when he mentions that like he knows what it's like to lose a son, and then he kind of like hones in on that. So yeah, I don't know. I still feel like Harry bit of an idiot for a lot of times in the show, but in that
Mm-hmm.
moment, it's like okay, I at least understand why he wouldn't want to listen to Dex. Plus, he has so many other things going on. Deb's just gone missing, um, and yeah, and then like obviously the two cases that he's kind of following right now are really heating up. So
That's right.
Harry's not in the best mind state, but yeah,
No. And I wonder if we're gonna see him kick the can in this show, or because I remember
doesn't
he
he
doesn't die
commit
too.
suicide?
Yes, because that's after he sees Dexter's kill room.
Yeah.
It's one thing for him to be in the kill room and be on the table, but I think this is when he commits suicide. He sees Dexter kill someone on his table and just how he's got the room set up, and it's just all kind of sick. So Harry's like, ah, like he can't
Yeah.
handle it.
You fucking sicko.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, let's take another ad break. Then we'll keep on keeping on. All right. We kept on. Taylor Field. We were. Where are we going now?
Where are we going now?
Deb went for a nice boat ride here.
Nice boat ride. Yep.
I mean, we already kind of talked about Geo and stuff, but yeah, no, I liked the Deb stuff here. I like to just see like the actress going through all the emotions and like the I thought she did a good job just portraying the character. A lot of Debisms for sure. I mean, she's just killed it throughout the whole show. She's been so consistent. But man, she's showing a lot of Harryisms also at moments because she's just such a fucking dummy by dumping that diamond bracelet in the water initially, like, and then instantly, oh, I should have pawned it maybe, and no shit, like I as soon as she looked down at the bracelet, I knew what was gonna happen, and I'm like, don't do this. This is so stupid. And then I guess you can make well, this is how Dexter finds out that you could just hide a body in the ocean, and once it's in the ocean,
That's
it'll
exactly
never be
what
found.
they're doing.
But like, fuck, make it drop a phone or something, not this like diamond bracelet. It's probably worth like 14 grand. So I don't know. I'm just frugal, I guess. It just it's cringed me. Weird like CGI as it floats down to the ocean too. I don't know. I just I just got triggered by that. I think it was also just I knew it was gonna happen. Like as soon as she like says "fuck you" to Geo, I'm like she's gonna toss that bracelet or something. Like she's just But anyways,
we got to see. I'm pretty sure this was his actual boat that he gets.
yeah, the slice of pie, right? I thought that's what it was called.
It's called Slice of Pie. His boat's called Slice of Life.
Oh, okay.
But
it looked like the same make and everything though. Like it was like a twin engine.
Did. So maybe he
Talk
gets
like I know
it
my
from her.
boats.
Maybe he buys it off of her and then changes the name.
She kills her, dumps her body in the ocean, and
That's right.
And then he changes the name of the boat. That's my prediction.
Right. Because I remember she doesn't last forever in as a character. Like when we get to like the present day stuff. I guess I remember it's funny how her boat is called Slice of Pie because there was an episode where she's in the hospital and she's all about that key lime pie.
In this show?
No. In the main show, because like
that same lady,
the lady who owns the boat, does the records. I'm pretty sure it's the same lady because
damn,
they've been dropping all these pie situations or scenarios with her in this show, and then I remember her being in the actual main series with Dexter.
Wow, your memory of the original show is baffling me. I feel like I barely remember like any of that. I just remember like the main plots, but cause for a rewatch, I guess. Anyways, yeah, Slice of Pie. I thought for sure it was his boat, just because I knew it was called Slice of something, and I just assumed that's what it was because it looked like the exact same boat. But yeah,
Cool.
Fan of the make and model. Getting to the Captain Spencer here, I think the reveal of him came way too early. I feel like last episode it blew my mind that like it was revealed there. But I think ever since that reveal, anytime I see him like being like the captain and like, you gotta find my fucking son. We gotta fucking get this motherfucker. And like, he's just so fucking goofy for me now. Like, I don't know. It just seems like he's so overacting the scene, and it just makes it so less believable for me that like this is the guy who took his own son, and to have like, okay, I'm gonna take my own son and then I'm gonna lead the investigation. And I'm going to be able to just be that great of an actor like 24/7 and show the emotion that I just lost my son, even though it's me. I don't know. Like maybe it's going to reveal this guy's like the biggest psychopath. I mean, I guess you have to be able to do that sort of thing, especially to your own son. But I just think it's such a wild acting. Like he has to be the best actor anyone has ever seen in order to like do this and be like the main captain. Not only leading the investigation in a wrong direction without slipping up at all in a room full of like Miami Metro detectives, but also you have to show that you're like a grieving father and like not accidentally reveal anything. Like fuck off. There's no way that you can fucking do that. You would have to get an Oscar for that. I don't know, that just that. And I think I never thought his behavior was super goofy until they did the reveal. And maybe I'm misremembering the early portions of the season, but I just feel like he's ramping it up so much on the ridiculousness now after the reveal happened. Maybe it's just my perception of it because now I know, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of what they're doing now with him because it's so goofy to me. Just all of the scenes when he's just like pushing that you can't fucking keep me away. That's my fucking son in there. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm not necessarily vibing with it. I think if the reveal would have happened like penultimate going into the finale episode and like that's when the reveal happens, I just think it's too much like dangling something in front of me now and I just get that shit out of my face. I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
I feel I'm a little bit more positive on it, but I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, you'd have to be like state of the art actor just to
State of the art. Yeah.
state of the art, yeah,
Absolutely.
just to pull that off because you're in there and you just got your buddy shot and he's on his deathbed and you got this whole gunfight that just unfolded and then he's just staying composed and he's like, oh yeah, there's the kid's shirt that was on my son inside the house here, which I don't know. It's just I'm looking forward to everyone finding out the truth about him, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think when it comes to him, we're probably going to see, well, slice of life, right, or a slice of pie. He'll be tossed overboard.
Yeah, so you think it'll be like a Harvey Dent situation where no one actually knows what he did, and like it was just Dexter that like silently takes him out.
I think so,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I I I feel like I mostly think no one will find out of like what he did. I think it will be like a silent takedown type situation, or maybe yeah that happens and then he goes out like I don't know somehow is perceived as a hero or something like that happens. Yeah, that's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting, but hopefully I'm wrong. I don't think it'll be like a like a trial or anything.
No.
I really believe that Dexter will be the one to because he just fits everything on the list, right? Of who would be a candidate for the table and the saran wrap. So I just think it's also been a big build up. So like if we don't get that that release that Dexter would call it, maybe I feel a little pent up. But yeah. Cool. Well, what else do we got? What else do we got? We got we already talked about Estrada. We already talked about Geo. We talked about Brian Moser. I already mentioned the amazing transitions that we had in this particular episode. Can you imagine just getting swatted while you're just going to town in the bedroom, just like clapping cheeks, then all of a sudden you just have a SWAT guy kicking the door, waving the 4-4, and just oh, I don't know. There's something about that. I'm like, man, that would be the worst case scenario.
It would be. It would be not great.
Like, do you keep going? How close are you? Like, what happens there? No,
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna let you finish. But
No.
yeah. Oh, and then I was gonna mention we had Dexter with the classic blue cap, doing like his Joe from You
Just the
investigating. I feel like I have a pet peeve now in movies whenever we have our character like following someone and then they're going to a door and then they knock on the door and then the person that opens the door does this, Taylor. They look and then they're like, "Okay, come in." For the audio listeners, I just like looked both ways as if I'm looking for someone in the street that could be watching for me because they never fucking see the person that's on the street. Because there's always someone from the street because our camera, what we're looking at is the eyes of the person doing it. And
That's
I
right.
swear every single time the person in the door, they like look towards us. And it's like, what the fuck are they even doing that for? Like they're looking for someone watching them and there's someone watching for them. It's not just this show that does it. It's been bugging me for a while now. So when it happened here, I got heated. But I don't know. Dexter found that yellow bag, right? And I thought maybe that could be something that he, like the captain's fingerprints supposedly would be on that, right? And
Yes.
everyone saw him not grab that. Well, I guess, yeah, the opposite always said. Nobody saw him grab that. So if Dexter finds those prints on that bag and then nobody saw him grab that while they were there, I feel like that is super sus. Maybe it's a long shot. Maybe they're not even gonna think about that. But when Dexter held the bag, I thought that might have been something that he was gonna like bag and then try and look for fingerprints and then I don't know. Maybe at least like tell Harry, like I was following him. This was the bag. This is fingerprints on it. Like all these things. But
Mm.
maybe I was reading into it a little bit too much. But yeah.
No, I don't. I don't think so. Um, what was I gonna say? The him kind of second guessing himself and like tailing them and then thinking, oh, I gotta go get Deb. And if only that wasn't the case. If only I was able to stick around and save Bob's life or something like that. And paraphrasing, of course. Yeah, I thought that would help jog my memory of where I was going with that point, but I can't remember. Fudge.
Yeah, that's all right. We got someone in the chat. Watch with Wes. Did it cross your guys' mind that Nikki might be in the wood crate? I guess it was just whatever was under the seat. Yeah, I think it was just whatever was under the seat. And it looked like it was a bunch of small boxes. I thought Deb was gonna open it to reveal guns or drugs or money. I imagine it's one of those three things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. If we didn't see that under the seat, yeah, that definitely would have been something for discussion. But who
Mm-hmm.
knows?
Mm-hmm.
um, cool. Well, if there's nothing else to talk about, there's nothing else to talk about. We can call it here. We'll be back next week. Are you back next week?
I need to figure that out.
Okay.
I might have
Potential me
someone
only. Yeah.
swoop. Well, no. I wouldn't say it'll just be you. There'll definitely will be someone else
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what's happening then. But
Yeah.
until then, I'll be here at least, and we'll be talking about some Dexter Original Sin. But yeah, till next time, we'll be here. Bye bye.